All right, so welcome back to another one of my little overviews on how to develop some strategies. So I'm basically gonna start with what I do in my solo league to try and get some data that I can utilize and maybe apply to stuff in sim leagues. Obviously, I can only get limited data from this, but there's a few things I'll show you that you can use to emulate another opponent. Um, I'll put together defenses that I'll put specifically just on one team. But anyway, let's jump right into it. In terms of, I've set up a league, so we're basically at training camps right now. So I'll just advance through that because I'm really not interested in anything that's going on in the actual league. I just basically I will use this to just repeat the same season over and over again, and I'll adjust some different stuff. So um, typically I'll go take a look at my staff, especially if I'm just barely taking over a team. Ideally, I'll have all this stuff ironed out with guys that I like. But so far I see a West Coast hybrid, and that's fine. That fits in stuff that I might like to run. And then we've got a 3-3-5 hybrid, which is great. This is actually a team um, that that fits into stuff I like to run anyway. Better go make sure. So this is another thing when you're doing these solo tests. So if you install a defense, like I'm in commissioner mode, but if you install a defense on the other team, you got to make sure both teams are turned to human team. Otherwise, it'll revert the playbooks. At least in previous versions, it might not in 22, but in previous versions, it would revert the playbooks if you didn't switch the other team to CPU. So I'll just get my team set up for now, and I'll I'll go through and um, you know I might install a defense, but that's going to be later. So I'm just going to go through kind of what I do with my very initial setup when I'm getting an offense and defense set up, especially if I don't have a lot of the knowledge that I already have. Um, a lot of times I'll go and first I'll set up my strategies, and I like to go pretty vanilla with them to start out with. So I'll go with a balanced attitude. I'll run all this stuff mixed, balanced, all that. Balanced here, balanced, and we'll go balanced here. We'll keep that. We'll go balanced running. Just balanced all out to mixed. And so that means, I mean, it will skew data a little bit, but you can still get a general idea of what things are going to work and what's not. And I'll run the season again and I'll start changing stuff in here after I get some initial data. So I've got that all set. We've got some playbooks. Often, um, I'll just start with the coach's playbook. Like this is how I did it at the very, very beginning. I started with a coach's playbook, um, and then just filtered from there and exported and created my own. So I'll kind of just run through the jam of how I get there. But I know that I want to use the DC's playbook. So there we get the defensive coordinator's playbook installed, which that fits more He does a 3-3-5 hybrid, which is kind of like what I like to play as well. And then the coach's offensive playbook. So literally all I'm using this for now is just to read data. Make sure the depth charts are all set, but I'll usually just auto them too. I'm literally just looking for data. And I'll try and normalize it later, and you can do your own little nuances. I mean, I've done things like set all of my players as like 70 overall players and tried to put them against 99 overall players and stuff like that, just to really test and see if you can find anything that works. But just going with the basics is good because I can read the data at the very least. So now that we've got that set up, I've got my team. We're just going to run through and start simming some stuff, and then I'll show you kind of what I'm looking for when I do that. So San Francisco, we're playing New York. Oh, I'm going to go adjust the roster. This is all stuff I just often I'll get my stuff all set up, like my own personal saves. I mean, I've got everything dialed exactly how I like it. But for this exercise, we're just gonna let the AI auto it all out, and then we'll go from there. So we go week 1 with my balanced strategies. San Francisco did not play well. Looks like the defense might have been all right, but not very efficient in the passing game. Did play well against the run. So that's going to be some interesting data. Immediately, I will look at, okay, what did the Giants try to do that we were successful against? So they liked to run on first down. We were holding them to 1 yard, 1.5 yards on first down. So we didn't do a good job running the ball. Passing was okay, not great on third down, which is reflective of a 2-16. Not great anywhere. Like nothing was good on offense. We stopped the run pretty well on defense. But now we can go look at data a little bit further. Now that I've got one game of data here. But we know that definitely the coach's playbook's not going to be what we want to run with because it's not good. So let's get out the Stanford Adams offense. And here we can kind of get a look at what worked in that game and what didn't. So often what I'll do, we'll export that book and then we'll import it right back in. So let's then I can edit it, right? So Stanford Adams offense wants 1, so now I can edit it. It's already looking like might not want this play in there. This one didn't seem to do very well. It was ran twice. And I don't have a lot of data yet, so I might just keep it the same. But sometimes I'll just be like, okay, that didn't work, that didn't work. And I'll just trim down these plays from the first game to the second game. And, I mean, that gained yards. We'll get rid of just this stuff that gained low yards last game. And we'll see if maybe it does better the next games. Dive left didn't do well. 5 times, only got 3 yards. Yeah, we'll definitely get rid of that. Pitch right, gained 2. Just get rid of that. This QB sprint left sucked. Get rid of that. That misdirection left seemed to do well, so maybe I'll turn that up to 3. Get rid of that. It didn't gain well. And so now we've gotten rid of a few plays. I'll turn these 2 up a little bit since they did well. And then we'll go do the same thing with the defense. So we'll export Mr. Witherspoon's defense. And then import it back in. And that way I can edit it. So now we're looking at let's see. This base cover 2 seemed to do well out of the 3 through 5. I'll turn that up. The LB down, that seemed to do pretty well. That didn't get used, so we'll just leave it alone. That gained too many yards, so I'll probably just delete it. Even though it was only ran once, but we're kind of just gathering data, so get rid of that. That seemed to suck. Maybe pop that up a little bit. That seemed to suck. We'll get rid of that. Oh, I love that this is all fixed in 22, so we can actually use this. Get rid of this one. Definitely get rid of that one. Definitely get rid of that one. That was run 3 times and didn't do anything. Definitely get rid of that one. So I'm just going to go through and just cut out all of the riffraff plays that didn't seem like they were very helpful in the last game. And then I might go make some adjustments on my strategy too. So we'll go to game planning. We've got this all still balanced. So let's find out what happens if I decide to say run outside or focus on outside, for example, in this next game. And what happens if I decide to throw 2 tight ends instead of balanced? And let's go find out if anything improved in the next game. So just some slight nuances, but I'm just overall looking to gather data. Oh yeah, I need to remember. Yeah, don't forget to do that. Since I re-imported the book, I need to actually install those playbooks. So we'll go I really wish there was a just switch all. And later on, I get more nuanced in terms of once I've got like my base playbook established for a team, I will start focusing on like say, everything's working really well. I'm gaining a lot of yards, but I notice something like I'm not converting third downs a lot. I'll keep my base playbook and then I'll make a third down specific playbook and see if I can get those numbers to improve. which ends up looking like extremely good numbers in here, and that's kind of what I'm shooting for. And you can do this season to season too. Like if you like playing solo, then you can do these adjustments over time in your seasons as well. I just tend to like utilizing the same season. It kind of gives me a little bit of a control. I'm not ultra scientific about how I measure all the data. I do go a lot of, like how I feel about something. But so now we've got our offense with those deleted plays. I've made one adjustment, so let's go see if we do any better in week 2. Turned up some of the good plays and got rid of some bad plays. So let's see if we got a better result. So 37-16, our defense was still terrible. Our passing defense was still terrible. Did the offense seem to improve at all? Not immensely. Still terrible on third down. Uh, very inefficient in the passing game. Our running game did well. So see, we switched to outside running and had a vast improvement in the running game. So that tells me I might want to stick with that strategy. So I'll keep the outside. I'll keep the outside running game for the next game. But we need a ton of help on our defense. I mean, 20 of 23, we gave up 439 yards. I mean, that's just a terrible showing. So that means that whatever we still have on defense definitely is not working. But all that means is I just go back into my strategy for the next game. And often I'll run whole entire seasons. I'm not doing that in this, like running whole entire seasons before I make adjustments, just because it'll take a ton of time doing it that way. So I kind of just want to give some overview of my methods, so you can emulate them in any length of time, get data, however you want to gather the data. So we'll go back to this imported playbook. Okay, this play is not doing well. Cut that out. We'll try that. Well, no, it's throwing an INT, so we'll keep that one in there, but we'll keep it at 1. This tight end out seems to be doing well. The I-form read. So this play action quad slants been thrown twice. It's gotten 0, so we'll just delete that. We'll keep that play in there. That can be turned down to 1. Curl flats, maybe turn that up a little bit. Turn up the slants maybe a little bit. And I want to see some of these other plays get run. We'll get rid of that spread. I'm not really running a spread or a vertical. And so spread might not be, super conducive to a West Coast offense. Like if I'm building, like that's kind of something that bugs me is both of my coordinators like West Coast offenses, and we're not really running much of a West Coast offense. Like the playbook is kind of seems a little bit more spread and shotgun oriented. So that might actually bug me. If I look at something like that, I might say, okay, well, I didn't mean to do that. I look at something like that and I'd be like, okay, let's go take a look at my staff again. Let's see what they like. Obviously, my offense isn't working at all. So let's just say I'm going to try and build something that fits more into a West Coast hybrid. But another thing you can kind of look at too, he likes to be aggressive. Features running backs out of the backfield in the passing game. He prefers running up the middle. So this guy likes running up the middle. Let's see what this guy likes. A lot of outside runs. His coach offense is 3 stars. Yeah, so we're going to use the offensive coordinators. So we're going to try that for the next game. We're going to try just getting rid of this playbook and go with the coordinators, the offensive coordinators playbook instead, because he might have a better offense. Obviously, Stanford Adams' offense is not good. No, except I guess he's a control freak. So, oh wait, no, we just do that. Now we go Michael Tracy offense. And we can go take a look and see what's in the Michael Tracy offense. And see if we have some stuff that maybe we should get rid of. So yeah, we'll do my little action of exporting it. Import the playbook. And we'll go Michael Tracy. So now I can remove some of these plays. Yeah, that thing hasn't done well. So he likes. So we got a lot of 2 tight end, which is good. There's some pro set running the ball. Get rid of that sprint left. It hasn't done anything. So now I'll go change some strategies as well. It did worse going towards the tight ends. So maybe we'll go back to balanced, or yeah, we'll just keep it balanced, or I'll try, okay, well, that scheme didn't work passing to tight ends at all, so let's try passing outside. Oh, and I almost forgot. We want to go filter our defense again, too. So, yeah, that play is not doing well. Just cut that sucker out. 3-3-5 double man seems to be doing well. Not doing well. Not doing well. And I might keep a play around that's gaining in the 4-yard range, because that might be something that's getting called on 4th down. But I'm definitely going to turn it down. We'll turn that down. Turn these ones that are allowing 4, we'll turn those down. We'll turn that one up. Turn that one up. And we'll just get rid of that one that's allowing over 6 yards. Get rid of this one. And defensive playbooks, I found you can kind of get away with some smaller playbooks. I'm not sure about 22. That's kind of why I'm starting with this process, just so I can kind of get data on a lot of different plays. So like I said, normally I'd run this over a whole season, but I already feel like this playbook's too big anyway. So, I want to narrow it down and get rid of some stuff. I mean, there's definitely a few plays that I use in my playbooks that aren't in this playbook, but it's worth gathering some data on some plays I don't use very commonly. Um, I'm seeing this cover two seems to be doing well. This double man seems to be good where it's at. Let's see if this Tampa 2 does better. And all right, so we've adjusted our defense on to the next game. See if I can get offense to start performing. And you can kind of do it any way you want. Like if you want to build a playbook before and not use the coach's playbook. So my offense was trash again. Seems like we might have played a little better on defense, but not really. We did snuff the run, so we've been doing good about that, but just we're not doing well anywhere on offense. And this game, even keeping stuff running outside, we didn't do as well. So pretty rough game overall. So I'm recognizing now that my offense really just is bad news. So passing outside with it is not the answer. We seem to be figuring out slowly, like we've got the run game pretty well figured out. It seems. I mean, we haven't been allowing much on the ground, but we are allowing a lot through the air. But we're starting to limit points, and so it seems like the defense is starting to come together a little bit better. Oh, well, maybe that's why the offense wasn't good. So we'll go filter it again, adjust some more strategies, and then see if we just start seeing any improvement in offense. Like it's been bad, really bad so far. Um, so go look at the Michael Tracy offense again. Turn up some stuff that seems like it's working. That doesn't seem like it's working, so we'll just turn that down. And a lot of plays haven't been run. I'm probably going to end up cutting all of the spread plays. It's only been run once. Yeah, get rid of the quick slants. Keep this RB post. The RB screen hasn't been working. Turn this sucker up. Seems to gain a lot of yardage. Turn that up. Turn that. We'll just cut that one out. Cut that one out. It's thrown 2 picks this early in the season. That's not very good. Pitch left. Sweep right. Okay. These QB sprints, I mean, we definitely don't have the capacity, really. I don't think we have a running QB. So let's just get rid of the QB runs. Get rid of all that. So that's probably enough for now. Go back to our game plan. See if I can figure out anything. I mean, maybe it's the passing preference that isn't working. So I'm going to go back to balance, and then let's just see what happens if we go long and balanced on this next game. So, you know, that might have been the ticket. You know, we just noticed that maybe the offense just improved pretty considerably. We ran the ball really well. Passing was the most efficient it's been. Garoppolo had a good game. I'm liking what we're seeing there. Still pretty concerned about the defense. It seems to be improving or staying fairly steady on the run. Passing is still just giving up way too many yards and efficiency. So that's not good, but we'll take kind of our first win, and that might tell me that I'm starting to get on the right track with this offense. So I might keep things all the same and now start working with this defense a little bit and see if there's something maybe I can do in game planning. We know we've been giving up passing, so what if I try something like this, and we focus more on the pass, and maybe what if I focus on the pass, but I have defensive line and linebacker looking for run support, and then I'll go look at that defense again. And so, yeah, that base cover 2 didn't work as well. This double man seems to be working. This LB spies really seems to be working. So let's pump these up. Let's pump these up that aren't allowing high averages. Get rid of you. Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of these. They're allowing over 4 because I already feel like the playbook's too big. So we'll get rid of that. We'll keep you because you did pretty well. You're allowing under 4. So that a lot of times, over seasons, that'll be my cutoff is under 4. So I like these plays that are allowing under that. We'll get rid of you. Definitely get rid of you. Get rid of some 5-2. Get rid of all these just junk plays. Narrow it down. I am liking getting some data on, this is all of this stuff that's in here is different. A lot of it is different than what I normally run. So, we might be getting some data that'll help me, with my own teams in 22. So I'm liking what we're doing here. We're going to pump up these plays that seem to be doing pretty well. That one hasn't been used yet. Just going to get rid of this dime press. So yeah, we're getting the playbook down to about the sizes that I usually like, but still might be a little big. But now let's see if maybe we can improve some things now that we had a successful outing this past week. So let's check. Oh boy, so offense did not do as well this week, but our defense seems to be finally starting to, Yeah, I mean, we really see what we did against the pass this week, and we stuffed the run. Um, Passing wasn't as good. Threw some picks, 9 sacks, and running wasn't good. Um, but let's keep going through. I'll kind of just accelerate through the season a little bit quicker. So we did better this next week, so I'm still on that strategy. It seems to be successful. I can tell that the running game's not quite working, but you can see the longer I extrapolate this data, the better it is. And constantly doing these filters, um, cutting out plays, trying some different stuff. Um, Over time, if you keep going through and just cutting that riffraff out, you'll start getting a little more fine minute in your data. So you'll get to the point where you're designing books specifically for first down, specifically for first like specific teams. So you'll if you just look at stats and box scores a lot, it'll be deceiving. So if you look at the play analysis, you might see, and this is something Utah did for a long time, is a lot of people thought we were like heavy predicated on the passing game, but really it was all about establishing the run. And we would run the ball a ton on first down, and then every other down would be passing. But you start designing a generalized book for our whole entire, like, look at the box score. Yeah, it's pretty even, balanced, and running. So let's try to stop both. You're missing the fact that I was doing almost all of my running on first down. Um, so you can start designing books that it's like, okay, I'm going to try and throw these run plays down on 1st and 10 because I know they run a ton and see how they do. And I might design a book that's just specifically for run. I'll install it in that one spot in the strategy book. Um, Design a play and just put it right on first down, and that's it. Just go all three first down with my new book, based on what I'm seeing. And after you play the game long enough, I mean, I have my favorite plays. I can go through and pick them all right now. Um, I'm not going to do that because I really do think it's important to go through exercises like this, uh, and really take a look at how things are changing. Don't be afraid to change your strategies and play with stuff because I found some defensive stuff that might work with some variations on the coach playbook. I mean, obviously I've turned percentages up and stuff like that. This seems to be like where I want to be. We're still having trouble with the running game, but I think given a few more weeks, and especially if I started tossing in more of my favorite running plays, um, would see it improve, but I'm just really trying to stay on a data focused exercise, week by week. And, so let's just run through a couple more weeks, go read some more data, and then I'll call it good. So, Dogs ran against us really well. Um, Came out with a loss. We're still playing not great on third down. So there's a lot of adjustments that could be made based on that, but I'm just going to keep on simming through, so we get a fair amount of data. But, things have improved. We're actually winning games instead of losing them like we were in the first few weeks. I mean, we're having some pretty stellar running games. It's just pretty inconsistent, and a lot of that could probably be attributed to specific opponents and specific AI game plans schemed more to stop the type of stuff I might be running. But still, from where we were at the beginning of the season, I mean, we were getting our butts kicked, um, and things have improved slightly, but you know, I'm seeing things that are going in the right direction, and some end of season tweaks might yield some really good data. And then I can my second season, a lot of times I'll just take all this coach data and be like, oh, okay, cool. There's a few plays that I can add to my normal what I already like to do. And I'll toss them in there, and then I'll custom design the playbook for the second season. Um, might be based on this. Another thing you can kind of do to find a playbook you might like is sim a couple seasons and look at the teams that have the top offenses and defenses. Take those playbooks and apply them to your team, and then um, filter and cut them down from there. Um, but this is initially how I did it. I just started going with the coach stuff, seeing if I could adjust to it. That, and then I'd start watching defenses, specifically defenses in leagues that I'm in, just to see what plays the top human teams are running. And you'll find if you watch enough of the good human players, you're going to see a pattern of similar plays being run or the same plays. That could be a product of people copying each other and deviating a little bit from doing this this test work that I'm talking about. Um, but you'll see a pattern that the better GMs find the patterns and find these plays, and a lot of them do probably some variation on this method that I'm doing here. And as I said, you can do it over time too. It is fun to do, just continue on to the next season and try to find personnel. You see some promising stuff with the offense and defense. Now you might want to find personnel instead, and then keep the test going into continual seasons. But that's the testing method I do. And I'm sure a few of you, probably most of you watching, are actually in leagues, so you have your own, you have your own books, I assume already, that you've kind of found data on a little bit, have worked with a little bit, but plug it into a solo save, um, test it against, if you have an offense that is working really well in an online league, set it up as the other team. You're going to go play a game, so San Francisco ended up 11-6. Not too bad for starting out pretty crappy on the season. We ended up, even against AI, you know, we still had a horrible defense. Still needs a lot of work to do. But we won some games, and that's telling me that there's promising info. Um, go back through, and now that we're kind of reaching playoffs, we have a lot more data about what might be working and what might not. So like I said, I normally run a whole season with a playbook and then adjust from there. uh, we know these plays are all pretty garbage. And so, I'll do another video later on and keep on going through this process. But that's essentially all I do. I just do it over multiple seasons, testing on solo, and continually cut out. So like, man, this play's killing it. It's been ran 19 times. It averages 9 yards. So your risk of reward is going to be pretty good on that one. These passing plays that gain shorter amounts, probably not in love with them. I'm going to get rid of these things. Any of this stuff that's averaging 6.5, to over 10 yards, definitely pump it up and get rid of this stuff that's losing you yards. Filter it all out and keep running with it and have fun. But if you have any specific questions about what you're doing or want me to look at something, just shoot me a message. And good luck out there.